6 months, full-time on YouTube. I'm gonna tell you the good, the bad, the ugly from my perspective. Let's get right into it. So in this video, I'm gonna explain to you my take on what it's been like to be full-time in this space for 6 months. Now, of course, I started this channel about 5 years ago. The 5-year anniversary is coming up very soon. If you look on YouTube, it says I started it back in 2014. That's just simply when I established this Gmail account. I started posting videos. My first video I really considered on the platform was this farm table here. Actually, the table's still doing well. That was posted in December of 2016, I believe. So really, we're almost 5 years into this thing, and I've been full-time at it 6 months. I don't know if that's typical or not, but it's my story. So without further ado, let's get right into this. All right, let's go. Okay, so in this video, we're gonna discuss the good, the bad, the ugly about being a full-time content creator here on YouTube. All right, the good, let's just start with some of the good. I'm gonna then go to the bad, the ugly, then I'm gonna end with some of the good. Because why not start and end on a good note? All right, the best part about it, really, is the freedom, okay? It's the absolute freedom. Being your own boss is probably the most liberating and, I don't even know the right word, the most exclusive thing I've ever felt. Is pretty awesome. It's not the best experience in the world, of course, you know, getting married, having kids, you know, making your own people, that kind of stuff. That's always fun, and it's amazing. But this has got to be up there. The audience has afforded me this. You, if you're watching right now and you've subscribed to this channel, you've done this for me, and it's been an amazing ride. And so the freedom of which I get to now pick and choose what I do on my time schedule is pretty awesome. I mean, so to speak. I still have kids to take care of. We still got things, you know, I still got to, you know, make all the dinners and blah, 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 all that stuff. So long story short is the freedom is the best thing on the planet on being full-time, okay? The other is a pretty obvious one too. I'm gonna show you this house. Ready? Here's a Google Street image of this house. Really kind of before YouTube, check it out. And then now. It's a transformation, isn't it? Yeah, for sure. Now, did YouTube pay for all that? Well, not really. I mean, I did. Some of my investments did this, and my hard work at my retail job helped me do this as well. But I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it had this channel not exist, right? I would have never needed an exclusive space to do this, to make content, to kind of make a maker studio where I make what I do now. I would have never done it had it not been for YouTube. So the additions to this property have been amazing. You see that we now have we got a fence in the front yard. And that's because, if you know my story, I've got some kids. My little boy, he's 4 years old now, definitely on the autism spectrum, nonverbal, kind of pops and clicks all day, happy as a clam, but he's a runner. He will escape. And sometimes doors get left open. As hard as we try, sometimes it happens. Now we have a fortress, and that little boy's not getting out anywhere. So that's the good part. I'm gonna explain some more good here in a second, but let's kind of move into some of the bad, some of the ugly about being full-time, trying to hang your shingle on this platform. All right, so let's talk about some of the things that are not so great when you're a full-time content creator. In my opinion, okay, this is not for everybody, but in my opinion, is the fact, and I've given this analogy before, is the fact that you now become a single solo sport player. Like, let's put sports in the realm here. I'm no longer on an NFL team. I'm no longer in the comfort of a 53-man roster who, if I have a bad day, you know, we still might win the game. Now, if I have a bad day, I don't win the tournament. I'm a golfer that gets disqualified, essentially. This is kind of the analogy I like to use. I'm only as good as my next move, right? I have more time to make those moves now, but I'm only as good as those next moves. And my success on this platform is really dictated by how well I'm able to pivot, which is not something that's easy to do. Meaning, like, who knows in this platform what that means, quite frankly. Can I keep up with the thumbnail game? Can I keep up with the content? Am I not doing the right type of content for my audience? There's all these different things that we now as full-time creators have to look at that we never in a million years thought we'd have to deal with as a career. But you know what? Here we are. And we're very thankful that we can. But one of the bad sides is that there is no stability. Who knows what's going to happen on this platform? It's a huge leap. It's a huge leap. And that's one of the hardest things to come to grips with before you make it. You don't really realize the enormity of it until you do. Now, if you have an established channel and you're out there watching, you're an aspiring YouTuber. I still am an aspiring YouTuber, by the way. And it's such a weird word that I'm 41 years old and I'm saying I'm a YouTuber. It's a little strange. It's scary. So if the first thing I had to say about one of the negatives about being on this platform full time is that it's absolutely horrifying. Now, there is a thing you can do to channel that into something good, but the fact that that's there is scary. Another thing that's tough to deal with is having to learn a new discipline, and not just discipline in the sense of I now have to be very self-accountable for my actions, much more so than I was. Not to say I wasn't at my other career, but this is so very different. But having the discipline to be able to learn new things in a way different way than you might imagine, okay? So what does that even mean? Well, quite frankly, it means that in my previous life, in my previous retail job, you know, I knew what I was doing. I had learned a craft. I was looked to in the space as an expert about, you know, quite a bit. And that's because of years and years of doing it for so long and learning from people who have come before me and all that. You know, in this realm, I don't really have a coach. Nobody really was there to kind of bring me up except other content creators who benignly did it just because they were trying to fester their way through this thing too. And that was one of the things, and I still struggle with today, is me giving my opinion on things. Part of the reason I don't do a whole bunch of these like top 5 videos is because they're pretty much my opinion, and I don't really feel like I need to force my opinion on you. Okay, so that being said, I don't, I'm sure they would get a lot of views, but I don't want to just give you my opinion over and over again. I want to build stuff. I want to start a business. I want to show you that it's possible. There has been very little flack on my channel, but that's another one of the things that's tough to deal with, are negative comments. And I've been very fortunate. I don't have very much negativity on here, and I thank you guys so much. I know saying that there's gonna be somebody watching this going, oh yeah, watch this. Maybe he's not doing that, or maybe they're doing this, who knows. But that's one of the things I've been a little scared of is, you know, negative words hurt, even though they're from somebody who's completely anonymous, who probably is just jealous of the fact that we're having success. Who knows what the reasons are. But I don't want to give you my opinion on a whole bunch of stuff. I want you guys to see the journey I'm on. I don't necessarily want to tell you the journey I'm on. I wish that came across okay. I hope it did. But that's another one of the things that I deal with, is just, you know, having the skill set and learning the skill set to keep moving. You know, it's tough. It's been one of those things I've been struggling with for a long time. And it may have been why this channel hasn't grown any faster than it has, is because I'm not really progressing any further in my skill set as a woodworker like I should. And that's one of the things that's kind of been brought to light. Maybe I should try more hardwoods. Maybe I should try more fancy kind of fine woodworking furniture pieces. I don't know. Your thoughts? I'm curious about that. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the ugliest thing about being a full-time content creator. And I think this happens to a lot of us on this platform. Paint a picture real quick. Check this out. So let's say you're working 45, 50 hours a week at a traditional job, right? But you're doing YouTube on the side, or any side hustle for that matter. Just keep that in mind as we move forward. So every moment you get, like I did for the past 4.5 years, every moment I had that wasn't required by something else, I was doing this, you know? I'd given up hobbies, music. I'd given up playing video games because I was a kid of the 80s. Of course I played games. Haven't done it in forever. So all my heart and soul, I thought, you know, when I go full time, I'm gonna have all this time to devote to the craft. And you do, but you don't. Because what happens is that you always feel like you haven't used the hours in the day like you should have. I have more hours in this day now, per day, to do this craft, to do this thing called YouTube. However, I feel like I spend more time doing it now than I did doing both job and YouTube before I left. So, and why is that? You know, you say, Chris, you should be able to break away, and I do. Don't get me wrong. Every afternoon I get the kids from the bus, but I do find myself in here with these kids running around, probably more so than I should. And it's tough. It's a tough decision to make, to leave this and go do what you got to do, whatever it is, buy groceries, go whatever, you know, life happens. We all got to do what we got to do. And you guys, like I said, you know my story. I basically run this household by myself. So the fact of the matter is that I'm out here a ton. These kids go to bed, I'm out here, okay? Especially when I started my website about 2 months ago, where I started releasing products to the world. There was about a 6-week period there where I don't know how I did it. I don't know. I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep very well. I ran myself ragged. I got sick. A long story short, I need to learn to pace myself on this, even though sometimes I feel like I'm going at a snail's pace in terms of what I'm releasing to the world. The hardest part is knowing that this is really ugly. Is what I mean by ugly, is that you've taken this big leap, but you literally feel like you're not doing enough per day, even though you're strapped. I can't stress to you guys enough that the desire to want to build something like this is huge, especially when you take that jump. You know, Steve Harvey does a big talk about this. I think he did it in an episode of Family Feud where he's talking about, in life, if you don't jump, basically, if you don't put yourself at risk, you're never gonna know what it's like to be really successful. And again, I'm not really successful here, you know, at least not yet. I do have the drive and the determination to get there one day. But my clock is ticking, and I've got to spend as much time as I can doing this. And I don't want my life to pass me by, even though now I seem to have more time. That's the ugliest part. You got more time, you really don't, because you have the drive and determination to build it as fast and as big as possible. And that's tough to deal with. I'm not gonna lie. All right. Now, I do want to talk about one more thing. Okay, is burnout. Not happening to me. Okay. There's a few reasons why burnout happens, and let's discuss those. And the last ugly thing I'll talk about this content creation side is burnout on this platform. You'll see, you probably have noticed a lot of creators will go and seem to be hitting their stride and doing well, and then you don't hear from them for a while, months, sometimes maybe even half a year. And then they come out with a video about burnout. I'm not singling anybody out here. This just happens. It happens to all of us. I've been burned out in my career before, but on this platform, it's tough. Now, burnout happens sometimes, and my opinion is that here's why, or here's how it can. One is that the content creator in this space has set themselves up to where their content is evergreen and is doing well, and they've done something maybe on a website or some other service to get people off of YouTube that is now helping support their income. The reason we make a living is because we have to live, okay? Money's an object for a lot of us still. And to be honest with you, you'll see some people will go through this content creation burnout because it feels like their vacation turned into their vocation and it's exhausting them. And that's completely understandable and reasonable. I'll tell you why it's not going to happen to me. I can't afford it. I can't afford to be burned out. There's not another income in the house. There's just me. And so that's another reason too, is that a lot of families, the husband or wife, whoever it is, goes on a content creation journey, and the other one is helping support that. And that is one of the reasons sometimes that people can break away for a little bit, is that they don't necessarily need to produce the content they once were. You know, that's just the nature of the beast. But I'm not bringing up burnout because it's happening to me. It's not at all. In fact, I'm more full of energy now to do this than ever. And I do plan on doing it. And I look at this platform as, you know, I got these segments. I got this first year of me being full-time, and then I got a 5-year goal and then a 10-year goal and so far and so forth. I keep those to myself, but you'll see some various things coming down the pike if you stay along, and I hope you do. So subscribe to the channel. Now, one other great thing, let's end on a really positive note. You know what? Let's change the scenery because that's how this video is doing right now. Okay, and the best thing about being on this platform, this is a big one for me, is, you know, not to get into Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but the number one thing is self-actualization. And so that this channel has helped that regard in so many ways. Aside from making my own people, right? Aside from that, starting a family, the amount of compassion and kindness that this channel, you guys, the audience, has shared with me over the years has just been absolutely incredible. It's, told myself I wouldn't get all. So it happens. I've been very fortunate that what I think is the best audience in the world is congregated in this channel, and I can't thank you guys enough. I call them the warm and fuzzies. When you tell me I'm an inspiration, or you tell me that, you always learn a little bit something from me in each of the videos, it just means so much. I can't tell you how much it means. It is by far the best feeling about content creation full-time. Used to get it a little bit when I wasn't full-time, but since the transition, been able just to pour my heart and soul in this thing, and it's been real gratifying. It's been very rewarding, and I can't thank you enough. So I hope you enjoyed this little take about this kind of 6-month overview. Basically, it started in a 2-car garage here at the shop here in my house. I moved some investments around, tried a different career, and lo and behold, I was able to keep going, keep moving. And if I have any advice to anyone on this platform who wants to do this full time, is just don't stop. I mean, don't stop. I have countless friends who put 15, 20 videos up, and then I never hear from them again. I think I have over 190 videos on this platform in 5 years, and that's a lot considering there are massive channels with under 100 videos still. But you know what? To each their own, and you got to work for what you want, and that's the true testament even here on this silly thing we call YouTube. But it's not silly really, because it means so much to so many people, whether you're an observer or you're a creator. We're all in this at the same time, and I really appreciate you guys listening. I hope you like this video. If you do, like it, share it, and of course, if you're new here, subscribe. I do make projects in videos, just so you know. So I'm gonna link a few in the cards at the end. But thank you so much, guys. Thanks for listening. Thank you for all the support, and thanks for coming on this journey with me. And I'll see you on that journey as well. Let's go.